Hello G-Man 5D, your recap is back. The attentive among you will notice that I missed last week, so I'm sorry, I was really busy. But this week what I'm going to do is just condense 2 weeks into one. Now I apologise because this might feel a bit rushed, but I don't want to make a 50-minute video. If somebody sent me a 50-minute video I wouldn't watch it, and my rule with making videos is if I wouldn't watch it, who would? So this is going to be the regular length. I'm going to try to get 2 weeks done. Sorry, I've just been a bit busy, but this one should be good. So we'll start by looking at the leaderboard because there's been a lot of change in the 2 weeks. I get 1 week free game has actually already been played. Now let's just do a rundown of the positions. The Alpha of Black Widows have made it to first. That's with 6 games, however. They can be overtaken by both second and third, and fourth if they win their 6th game, just because they've played 6 games to get there. But that's looking really good for the Black Widows. Only that one early loss that we commented on a while ago, I thought this team would do well. Good to see them in contention. Highgate Wardens are up there. They've managed to come out from that one loss they had against, I believe, the Dark Elves, and they're up on 4 wins, can become 5 wins to solidify first. Really good for the High Elves. High Elves are not good early on, so to already be here is fantastic for Burner. Next up is the Norse. They actually lost one of these weeks. I had them on to win, so interesting to see how that happened. I mean, as they're Norse, I imagine it was either a fast team that just managed to get away for a touchdown, or a bashy team that managed to get the early Kaz, because that's what you do against Norse. But he's got the other win, and he can also win week 6 to take first place, or joint first place with Burnout, unless they play each other. I haven't checked. Sir has dropped to 4th. He was first last time we looked. However, he's the only undefeated team remaining, having got 2 draws. If he can pick up win number 4, that will put him, even if the other 2 win, into 3rd. And then they are on a dangerous slope because he doesn't have any losses. And to be undefeated is fantastic. And then we have a really interesting mash here, because 5th to 8th is actually joint 5th. They're all on 3-1-1. No blitzing with Wolf, Valak has Ass Kickers, Heinous Huggies, and Sickless Fiddlesticks. I'm honestly surprised by these 3. If you told me Necromantic were going to be in 5th place with only 1 loss, I'd believe you. That makes sense, I think, for early game Necro. Ambitank's doing really well. I expect them to do really well. And then we come to like these 2, Chaos and Nurgle. Both Teocles and Sulfur, I did not expect to do this well, especially Sulfur, because he started with that really crippled team coming out of the Greenhorn. To go on to get 3 wins out of 5 and a draw is great. And for Chaos it's great as well in the 6th place there, Teocles, because Chaos just are not good early game. And to get these wins before you get your skills is so huge. And the same goes for Nurgle. So I'm going to say I'm slightly more impressed with Nurgle just because they had the crippled team coming in. Well done to both Teocles and Sulfur. Grumpokens, unfortunately, I'm surprised for the other reason. I thought he'd be up in the mix for first place with that Dark Elf team, but it appears... I mean, this is the thing though, this leaderboard is deceiving. Because we have 2 coaches on 005 and 1 on 006 on the next page, there's a lot of wins spread to everybody else. So he's joint 5th right now, even though the leaderboard says 8th. And only 1 win would put him in first, because first place is 4-1-1 and he's 3-1-1. So even though he's 8th, and I was kind of saying that's a bit surprisingly low, that's 1 game of separation from first. From first to 8th right now is 1 game of separation in this division. It's super split right now. The coaches in the bottom half are going to really have to work for a top half finish. The coaches in the top half are going to make every single win count. There's no clear winner in this division. There's nobody taking a free ride to the top. You guys are going to have to fight tooth and nail until week 13 to get anything out of this, and I'm going to be really excited to see it. So coming out of the, let's say the top half, the top 8, where these people are all pretty in contention, you come to the Gorkies. Now 2-2-1's not bad, there's only 1 loss. It's really good. As Orcs, you'd maybe hope to pick up a few more wins just because you start with so many good early skills, but Orcs are also slow and they can't make many big plays if they don't get Kaz, and it's easy to see how against a lot of Elves and Chaos you would end up like that. Just got to keep going. I'd say Dartillery is like the last point where he's in contention if if he can pick it up really quickly and get the next maybe 3 or 4 wins, then you could get yourself up to the top. He can't afford any more losses. Definitely not losses, draws bad. Then we come to Banfox Barbecue Brawlers. Now, both Bretonian teams are in 10th and 11th. Doesn't surprise me. I am 13th in my division as Bretts. I hate them. I don't know how you play them. I really don't. I will just say all Bretts always deserve to lose. I don't like that team. So it doesn't surprise me to see these two stuck down here as well, because every team above them is a better team, and it's really hard to play like that, in my opinion. But Banfox did pick up his first win, which is good. Nicholas not quite on the first win yet, but he did pick up his second draw, so both of them have managed to stop 2 defeats, which is good. If the blitzers start to come online, they could push for mid-table. Unfortunately, I feel like already, with so many coaches on 4 and 3 wins, they're actually out of contention to win the division already. But don't let that break your heart, guys, because you can get a lot of SVP, build a sick team for next season, or, you know, just make the miracle push to come in the top half. But it's really hard. And then we come, unfortunately, guys, to the hard part of the table. Both the Byzantine Bashers and Lorcos de la Cabeza are on 0-0-5. 5 losses. Out of contention to win, I'd say. I hope you don't mind if I say that, guys. Obviously, statistically, if you work it all out, they could win. But, you know, I don't see the Alpha of Black Widows, the Highgate Wardens, Freya's Guard, the Chufelheim Tacklers, and No Blitzing with Wolf all drawing all their games from now on. One of them is going to push to the top and probably chased by a close second and third. So to get there from 5 losses, I don't think is possible. But the great part about being in that position, it's kind of position I'm in my division, is just beat one of them. And it's really, really funny. Because then, all of a sudden, you ruin their playoff chances, and it was just because you could. And I love doing that. Obviously, it's a bit rough. Chaos is kind of at 12th is where I expected them. That's why I'm really impressed by Theocles that he's got his team up there, because Chaos are really bad. Orcs probably shouldn't be down here. I imagine it's been a tough string of luck for Lorcos. I believe he has an admin concede in there as well. It could be wrong. Just tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to slander you, but I think that happened against the Huggies. And then in 14th, and I'm so sorry, Laguna, but he's got a page of his own for this. He's played his week 6 game and lost again, so we have the 0-0-6 Skaven. Skaven shouldn't be down here, but if you have a couple of rough games, and especially in a division that's got quite a good bit of bash, couple of rough games, lose a couple of rats, stall your development, it can definitely just get worse and worse and worse. And that's probably what's happened to the poor Nim rats. I just want to see them pick up the miracle win. I want to see it. So we'll jump in. I'll run down games from week 4, games from week 5. We'll take a look at the teams quickly, just a rough run over them, and then we'll look at week 6 and I'll give some predictions. And I predict the Alpha of Black Widows will beat the Nimrats. I'm saying that bang off the bat, guys. If that comes up later on, you know who said that. So day 4, the Highgate Wardens beat Lorcos de la Cabeza. Lorcos actually got 2 Kaz and stuff. It looks okay. I'd expect that, to be honest, because of how well the Highgate Wardens are doing, and just because they're High Elves with a really high movement player that the Orcs struggle to get and hit. I'll take that. I think that's a respectable win for the Wardens, and an expected win. If Lorcos can't clear the pitch really quickly, they would struggle, and because of the armor 8 on High Elf linemen, you really can't do it as quick as you'd like. But there was some SPP in there, so that's pretty good. Byzantine Bashers lost to No Blitzing with Wolf. Now, you'd call Necro in this situation as well. It's just hard. Claws, obviously, on the Werewolves is a nightmare for Chaos Warriors, because you don't want them off the pitch. And when they're suddenly reduced to armor 7, so scary. So you sort of start trying to defend your Chaos Warriors away from the Wolves, or you over-target the Wolves and you can kind of get moved around like that. And then Necromantic have all this versatility early on with the unique positionals that Chaos just don't have. Especially Chaos, which has already lost 3 games when it went into this match. So it would have been a really difficult one. And again, really nice result for Ambitank. I'd say take that any day of the week. Alpha Black Widows beat the Barbecue Brawlers. Now, I heard about this game. Honestly, I'd expect that Dark Elves should beat Bretonnians. I don't see anything in the Bretonnian team that answers the Dark Elf team. I mean, a Dark Elf Blitzer is really just a better Bretonnian Blitzer. The blockers have Wrestle, which makes them really good targets for Witch Elves that don't have block yet. You can just go hit them and they're like, if I get both down, he'll wrestle me and I've got jump up next turn. It's like actually doing your job for you. And obviously Banfox team is underdeveloped, and the opposite side, the Alpha Black Widows, are super developed. So again, he's lucky. This could have been a bigger scoreline, I feel. Oh no, it's 1 SPP on these guys. Old Tim DeLona with the MVP. That's never what you like to see. So yeah, I'd say definitely Dark Elf should win that one most days of the week, and they did, so congratulations. Gorky's drawn with the Tacklers. Now this is a big one. I didn't call this. I said the Tacklers would win. At this point, Tacklers were first place, 3 wins, undefeated, and the Gorkies were not doing too hot. That's a huge one for the Orcs. I know they didn't win, but when you're going in the weaker team against Undead, who have a good coach as well in the and you got to try and make something happen as Orcs, it's really hard. And then Orcs need Kaz sort of to get things going. Who are you going to Kaz on an Undead team? The 2 ghouls? But they have dodge, so you don't have tackle yet. Really hard. So, honestly, huge props for grinding out that draw to the Gorkies. That would have been a good game. And then this is the upset. This is the upset. I couldn't believe this when I saw this scoreline. It made me sad that I didn't cover it last week. I called Freya's Guard to win this easily, because they were like the Tacklers, like this, 3-0-0 when they went in. Glorian was having a great time. I thought he's got this. Chaos struggling, weak team at the start, struggle to deal with a lot of block. Norse have Dauntless and their own strength, 4 players just to push them around. I thought Norse would take that, and they absolutely did not. And I think that right there is the reason why. 22 armor breaks. That is, I mean, seems to only be 2 injuries actually, but I'd imagine there was a lot of KOs, or just in general 6 KOs. Yeah. Oh no, 6 KOs were by the 6 KOs by the ass kickers. They done 2 injuries each. Freya's Guard killed someone. So actually, block wise, it seems to have gone okay. But I'm gonna feel like with all the armor breaks, that means there was a lot of stuns. That means there was a lot of turns spent playing down players, and it was really, really nice for the Chaos to win that. That was a huge win for Theocles, who's done really good now on the leaderboard. Glorian will bounce back next week, as we know, because we looked at the leaderboard, but we'll come to that when we get there. So now, the Swizzle Sticks vs Adaloc Pobble ended in a draw. I didn't call this at all. I just didn't see that happening. I thought, I mean, there seems to be a lot happening in there, but there's quite a lot happening in here as well. It just seems like it was a busy game, and I'm going to assume some Brett magic happened. I mean, I don't believe in Brett magic, because it never happens to me. But it's a really, really big draw for Adaloc Pobble. Now, they don't have a win yet, which is sad, and they're really low down on the leaderboard, which we covered. But to pull a draw against a Dark Elf team like that, especially considering they had I think they had 2 wins and a loss at this point, is really, really good. I would never have expected him to do it, and it's great that he did. And then the Huggies, 1-0, the Nimrats. Now, when Nurgle beats Skaven 1-0, in my mind that immediately says one thing happened. Disturbing Presence ruined the Skaven passing game, the Gutter Runners got caught and taken down, the ball was removed and the Skaven can't get it back. It came to the Nurgle offense, they walked down in a cage, they killed some rats and they scored. That is how that game went in my head. And that's not how it went at all, because it was a concede. Just ignore me. I should have clicked that before I even came up with that in my head. It was a concede. I don't know what happened to the Nimrats, but this one was admin. So congratulations, Huggies, for your admin win. Yeah, okay. Can't cover that then. So then we went on to week 5. Now that's a scoreline. Jesus! So that's the Alpha of Black Widow's 1 loss, isn't it? Yep. 1 loss, and what a loss that is. Burner hitting out with 5 touchdowns. That is insane. Look at that. Alpha, I mean, got 2 back of their own, sure, but 5 is mental. That is a fantastic game from Burner. Anytime you can get 5 in, it doesn't even matter what the other team do. If you can get 5 in, even against a stunty team, you are playing all out to get touchdowns. Now, High Elves are the right team for it with those throwers and catches, but it still takes a bit of luck, and it still takes we're past 9 o'clock, I'm sure the kids are in bed. It takes balls to get 5 touchdowns, especially against Dark Elves who could just punish you right back. And it seems twice that happened. I love that result. That's exactly what you need to see, if you ask me. Beautiful, beautiful elf on elf action. 7 touchdowns in the game. I love that. I hope you really enjoyed that game. And Gorky's beat the Byzantine Bashers. I think I said this in the last Orcs versus Chaos matchup. I always favour Orcs when that happens. That is a good one for Orcs to get. The artillery will love it because Chaos have 4 strength 4, you have 4 strength 4, Chaos have no block, you have 4 block, Chaos don't have sure hands, you have sure hands, and you're about the same speed. It's really good for Orcs early on. Now, when you get later on and the Chaos have Claw and Mighty Blow and Block, it's not good at all. It's a terrifying matchup, but we are not late on. We're in game 5. So, really solid 2-0 run out from the Orcs. I love it. And then, to just contradict everything that I've said, this Chaos team beat the other Orc team 2-0, which just fantastic. Because like everything I just said about why the Orcs should win, just goes to tell you why the Valakas Ass Kickers shouldn't win. But Theocles says, no, Lewisham, you're an idiot, and I want to win my game 2-0. So he did. And that's just, yeah, shut me up. Must have been some really solid Chaos play to get 2, not even just a 1-0 win, 2 touchdowns in there. Really, really well done, Theocles. Like, pat yourself on the back for that. RSV, sorry about what happened to the Lorcos, and to take a 5th loss is pretty brutal. It was probably a big part of it, is that it was your 5th game and you had 4 losses coming into it. The Orcs obviously aren't going to be as developed as the Chaos, or as you would like. But, yeah. Take nothing away from Theocles for that win. Swizzlesticks find their form again with a 1-0 win over Ambi-Tank. That's really good. Necro's a tricky matchup, I think. In fact, Necro vs Dark Elves is a tricky matchup for both coaches, especially because you both have Frenzy, and you know, Dark Elves want to avoid the claws but not too much, so they're not really that afraid of the wolves. They usually a lot of surfing. Can I tell you here if there was surfing? I want to know. No? Well, I'm going to hope there was some. We're all at Frenzy on the pitch. But a really good 1-0 win. Probably came down to like someone rolling a snake eyes at some point or something like that. That's usually how those skill matchups go. You have all the skill in the world, the coaches put their brains together to have a duel of the mind, and then Nuffle goes, snake eyes. And that's you, and it's really frustrating. But well done, the Dark Elves, picking themselves back up from the loss. Nimrat's losing 4-0 to the Barbecue Brawlers. Now that has to be unfortunate. 15 armor breaks. It put every touchdown on one guy or something like that. That's crazy. No, you must have got the MVP and a bunch of other stuff because these two have touchdowns. That's unreal SPP gain from Banfok. And that's a really good first win. If you're going to finally break a 4-game streak without a win, you obviously want to do it on a win like that actually gets you the SPP that you've been missing from so many other games. That's going to be really good for the Brawlers. Like, really, really good. True Flame Tacklers tie with Heinous Huggies. Now, actually, that's a fairly good matchup for Nurgle, unlike a lot of the ones in this division. So, to get the draw out of the Sir, I think the 2nd week in a row, is unfortunate for him. Obviously, he dropped from 1st in the leaderboard to now that 4th position, but is still the only undefeated coach. Nurgle vs Necro. Nurgle vs Undead, sorry, because Necro is different. Nurgle vs Undead is usually a slapping contest with can you run your cage up the pitch and score. And it seems here the answer was yes, both people did, 1 each. And that's the end of that. Not a terrible result for either, but not the result either one wanted. Obviously, I'd say it's better for Nurgle, because Nurgle are just trying to avoid losing at this stage in the season because they're not developed enough yet, whereas Undead should kind of be looking to win. So, slight advantage to the Huggies in getting that draw, but it's fine. And then the Bretts lose to the Norse. Glorian, back into form after his slip up against the Chaos the week before, takes it to the Bretts. Now, again, I don't know what Bretts would do against Norse. I really don't get it. And obviously Glorious Proteus, he's really good with Norse because he's got the 3 wins already before this game. Team is far more developed than Niklas Svensson's team, so kind of an expected win. 2-1 is an interesting result though. It does mean the Brett's got a touchdown in, which is good for them, and it'll help out with their team development a bit. Now this video is already getting quite long, but going into week 6, oh, the Widows won 3-0. I said that would happen, I called it. I'm just going to do some speed predictions so we can get onto the teams and try to wrap this up. Wardens versus Ass Kickers. Every time I bet against the Ass Kickers they win, so I'm going to say the Ass Kickers take it. Wardens are going to go for another big 5 touchdown game, and they're going to get smashed by Chaos. They're all going to die, and the Ass Kickers win 2-0. Swizzle Sticks versus the Gorkies. I'm going to give it to the Dark Elves. I think the Dark Elves will 2-0 this, just by passing, running, and having a lot of block of their own. If they can get stuck on Black Orcs though, and the Black Orcs can cause some Kaz, Gorkies will take it, but I'll go with Dark Elves. Huggies versus Byzantine Bashers. Now, Nurgle versus Chaos is great fun, but Nurgle get that tiny edge, and that disturbing presence and foul appearance can make a difference. So, also on top of the fact the Huggies are having a better season, I'm going to say Huggies take it 1-0. Score on their offense, stonewall on their defense. Adel Lochpobble versus Lorcos de la Cabeza. I'm going to say this is the Brett's first win. Adel is going to take it. Lorcos is 0-0-5. I don't think the team's overly developed, and Adel has had some really good results so far. A lot of losses, but still good results. Like, I mean, kind of the best losses that they could have been. So I'm going to say you can take this one. Freya's Guard versus No Blitzen with Wolf. I give to the Norse, mainly because Claws is negated. Frenzy is dangerous because the other team has Frenzy as well. Ghouls can quite easily be taken down because everyone has block. I don't know how many Blodge Ghouls Ambitank has, we'll check in a minute, but if he doesn't have them all, they will be taken down quite easily. And yeah, I just think Norse could probably take it. But so could Ambitank, he's faster. He's faster and has some better natural players. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Freya's Guard. But I'm only 60% sure because it could easily be 2-1 to Ambitank. And Tacklers versus Barbecue Brawlers. I'm really sorry, Banthok, but I think you will get beat here. However, my only win in the Greenhorn Cup with my Bretts was against the Trufelheim Tacklers. So maybe he has a weak spot for Bretts. I mean, didn't he also... No, he didn't draw with him. Thought he played the Adaloch Pobble. No, so maybe he has a weakness for Bretts, Matt. Maybe you can exploit it. But on paper, in my heart, I'm going to give a 2-1 to the Tacklers. So I have a quick run through the teams. I'm not going to go into depth. We'll maybe do an in-depth catch-up video with next week's. But that's it. We'll be sitting here for ages if I tried to break it down. So I'm just going to look at important players, so what I think are important skills, and maybe where you're lacking in skills. So we'll start with the Tacklers. Team roster. This looks solid. There's nobody crazy here. All the ghouls do have block and dodge, so that helps against Glorian. The Norse can't just get block onto the ghouls. Got his own tackle mighty blow on both of them in a little different order, which I like because it creates this little squares. I like the look. Block mummy, which he's had for a while, both with guard. Yeah, team's coming along nice. Nobody crazy. Really solid ghouls. I think those can actually cause Glorian a good bit of trouble. He's also won 15 players, which is quite a lot. Quite a high team value. So let's look at the Norse next. Oh, that's not looking good actually going in. That's one of those frenzy pieces I was talking about missing out, and it's the Mighty Blow one. And the Piling On one, I mean. He's got one with Mighty Blow. He's got Movement 8 Runner, which is pretty good. The Strength 4 Lineman, which I like. It's just because it's already got block. It's a pretty good player. It's only got one case of tackle. This could be his problem. All those goals have block dodge. Bjorg Skalde Torfusen is going to be really important. And he's only 7 armor. It's quite likely one of those Mighty Blow Whites will come for him. And Claw Mighty Blow Yeti. I love that thing will cause damage. Get that thing on the mummies. Get them off the pitch. If you can get the mummies off the pitch early with that, potentially turning them into armor 6, that'll make a huge difference. I'm going to stick with my prediction. The tacklers aren't playing Glorian. What am I talking about? I'm all over the place, guys. Glorian plays no blitzing with Wolf, who are necromantic, not undead. Get the flesh golems off then, whatever. Team's looking good. Going into the next game a bit weak actually gives the necromantic a good bit of a chance. When I said it was like 60-40 earlier, I'm actually going to say 50-50 looking at those teams. Adult Pobel coming up okay on this one guy. They've got strength. They've got strength on this guy. That's doubles, which is good. He can get tackle next and be built as an actual damage piece, which I like. You need the 4th one. I'm going to assume he died, and you're saving up the money, which is a shame. So actually, this team's not looking great. You got one guy who's solid. You got one guy who's got potential. You've got a space missing, and then you've got a nobody. It's not good. 2 guard is good. Mighty Blow is also good. I said it naturally doesn't synergize with the blocker because he's got wrestle and not block, but it doesn't really matter because it's your only strength access. You got to take it where you can. I agree. And 2 dirty players, love it. Also, lowish team value, not giving away too much. The high end of the team value does seem to be here, like around from 1500 upwards. There's few teams. Heinous Huggies. Free Pestigos, 1 on strength 4. He's been that way for a while actually. It's really nice. 2 block Nurgle Warriors, Mighty Blow Nurgle Warrior. I like this. Block first skill is really important on a few. Give the consistency to like the front of the team. But there's only so long you can go without having Mighty Blow on the team. You need it. You need removals. So you really do have to man up and just give it to one of the Warriors first, I feel. And he's done that. And he's on 15 SVP. Lovely. Beast has guard. I quite like Stand Firm on the Beast, to be honest, but hey, you do you. I'm only the recapper. I've never played Nurgle. That's not sarcasm, I've never played Nurgle. Team's looking okay. A little bit slow. Doesn't have any rotters and only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players, so he's inducing 3 loners every game, which is an interesting tactic. If you want to get in touch, Silver, you can tell me if that's on purpose. I'd love to know about that, or if they've just all died. I can definitely see some reasoning behind it. Them rats. Now these poor rats. These poor rats. I want to see what's happened to them. Oh no, the poor rats. See, there's a Storm Vermin's missing. Strength 3 gutter runner, a block dodge gutter runner, a lineman whose armor busted, a lineman who's niggled, and a movement accurate thrower. I mean, he's got 2 players really, 3 players with potential on this team. A bunch of normal players, and then holes in the team. It's a side effect of going 006. It really is. This just happens, and you don't get the SPP, and your players start to die because of armor 7, and it just begins to look a bit grim. But so long as you have gutter runners, you can always win. That's the great thing about Skaven, and you have 3 of them. So do not give up. Dark Elf team. The Sickless Whistle Sticks. Now they're out of Blitzer next game, which is pretty bad. But he's also the doubles Blitzer with piling on Mighty Blow, so that's going to be a great help for his opponent. That's Juggernaut, isn't it? Juggernaut's a really good pickup on a Witch Elf as a doubles. A lot of people would go Mighty Blow to get more removals, but as you already have a Mighty Blow piece, you take Juggernaut so that on blitzes you can more reliably frenzy push, and I love that. That means you're aiming for crowd surfs, you're aiming for like chain pushes. That is the thinking man's skill. I really, really like that. Up here you've got the standard Witch, block dodge, sidestep. Horrible, hate it, scary. Get it a pass so you can get another scary skill on it. Why not? Blitzer's looking good. I love the Agi 5 Blitzer. You really need to get him dodge, I'd say, and then he becomes absolute hell for any opponent. And linemen are just linemen. You got a couple banged up, but I mean they're linemen, so who cares? This team's looking great still. Love the Juggernaut Witch. I love that choice. Now the standout team of the season, the Valakas Ass Kickers. That's a lot of block. I love that. That means your team is coming along nice. He's done exactly what the Huggies have done as well. There's one guy where you just man up and say, I don't need any more block. I need someone who can hit people. That's Gannicus. Mighty Blow first. And then you get the doubler of Crixo. Has block and Mighty Blow. He looks great. Agi 4 Beastman on block. There's a ball handler. No problem. This team is simple. And this team is scary. I can see how it wins. I mean, what do you do when the Chaos Warriors just walk up with block and kill you? They're great players. And then you just have this line of goats to get through. He's got 12 players carrying 0 injuries with 140k in the bank as well. That's really important. Chaos Warrior dies, can be immediately replaced. 13th goat, buy it if he wants. And there's nobody, no dead weight on the team. This is really, really, really nice early season stuff. It's like what dreams are made of. The Gorkies! I love these guys. So they have the crazy player, obviously, the craziest player in the division, I'd say, the Strength 4 Agi 4 Vampire Orc. Except he's got Armor 9, which vampires don't even have. Just needs a little bit more SPP to maybe... I'd probably give him Mighty Blow next. Just to make him like this blitzer that can just dodge into anywhere, and or dodge out of anywhere and smack someone. Maybe tackle, something like that. Other than that, I'm seeing standard orcs. Tackle blitzer is good. Pelling on Mighty Blow blitzer is good. Block thrower is good. A goblin, which means you got with a troll, you got the 1-turn touchdown potential. The troll's also very near another skill, which is good. It's hard to level trolls. So yeah, they have one crazy player on this team. Everything else just nice set orcs. I mean, considering the Gorkies only have 2 wins, this is very developed. It's looking good. Oh no, I backed all the way out. Oh guys, I don't do 2 takes though. Now here is the division leader, although he's played his 6th game. Witch Elf's much less developed. I believe he did the 4 blitzer start though. SPP would definitely back that up as well. But both have block, which is great. I kind of like taking one with wrestle. One with wrestle, one with block. Gives one more potential to go against blodgers who have the ball. But you do you. I mean, you have Lily and Lily Rihanna. Are they sisters? Then in the blitzers, all 4 have block and dodge already. That's the nightmare for the opponents. Like, when you go up against 4 Dark Elf Blodge blitzers, that's bad. When I tell you one's movement 8, one's Agi 5, one has sidestep and one has Mighty Blow, you'd probably concede. It's horrible. I don't see them losing too many more games this season. These guys, all well developed. That's fair enough. They're linemen. I'm never going to go too big on the linemen. The Byzantine Bashers. Now, they're not looking as good as the other Chaos team. I mean, you can see immediately carrying 2 injuries. Themed name is Agi 2, so I mean, essentially he's a bad Nurgle warrior. A Nurgle warrior with +1 movement but no skills. But it's not terrible, because you don't often dodge with the warriors anyway. He can be a line of scrimmage warrior, and that's fine. I mean, you've kind of got the cash to replace him. I know he's on 5 SPP, but I would think about doing it before he starts leveling up and eating SPP out your team. And then he's like Agi 2, so he's just not as good as if you had just started like another guy. But maybe that's just me. You do you. Wrestle Goat, Dodge Goat, and Strength 4 Goat. Free block, and you have no Mighty Blow yet. I think I said it for the Nugget set because I like seeing a Mighty Blow kind of quickly to play for the removals. To have taken free block, and then also on your second level took guard. I think guard shows. I mean, it's okay because guard is always guard, and guard's really good. But I think when you've got 4 strength 4 players, to take guard on top of that shows that you want to be a bit more timid. Like you want to be safer on your own turn. When you're chaos, I would focus more on being stronger on your turn, not safer on the enemy turn. And just take 2 dice blocks with the warriors and get Mighty Blow in there. So this team is, I'd say, you kind of want to look at Valakas ass kickers and say that's what I want my team to look like. Obviously you can play your own way, this is just my analysis, I'm not saying it is bad, and nobody is happy about seeing a block guard Chaos Warrior, it's a scary thing, but I think you got to prioritise a bit of Mighty Blow going forward. Lorcos de la Cabeza, the 005 team. So, yeah, I mean, it's like I said in the match recaps, I was looking at the scores, I don't think he's super developed. Just 2 noob Black Orcs. Block guard, I'm going to give and block guard on a blitzer, I'm going to give the exact same advice I just gave to the Byzantine Bashers. You need removals. When you got these bashy teams, you're playing for some removals. You're not going to win 11v11. You got to hit something off the pitch, and Mighty Blow makes that much more likely to happen. You have access to Mighty Blow, use it. You don't need to always take guard. You've got strength 4 players. They don't need guarded. They'll be okay. Taking 1 is fine. Taking 2 guard is fine. When you want to level up and take a bunch of guard, that's fine. But because you're playing on limited level ups, because of the poor start to the season, I would just get Mighty Blow on something at this point. Give it to someone. If a lineman levels up, give him Mighty Blow. Don't really, but that would be my advice. Not perfect, but my main team is Khemri, so they are the bashy team, and I don't like guard priority, because if I'm going to play the bashy team, I want to be putting myself in situations where you're not going to get to hit me back anyway. I'm going to put you down and keep you down. I don't need guard if your players are dead, and Mighty Blow gets me to that stage quicker, and then guard comes a bit later when I'm making the team like an actual juggernaut of a team. But that's how I would do it. That advice goes to Lorcos and to the Byzantine Bashers, and obviously all the other bashy teams, but they seem to be taking it on board, so it's good. Now this is a high team value Necro. Ambi tanks, no blitzing with Wolf, and it is scary. I probably won't bet against Ambi Tank too heavily really for the rest of the season. I did against the Norse just because Glorian's done really, really well, but this is just, you can just sort of tell by the amount of players who are like pushed out the way, like how many skills he has. And there's a huge level of consistency in this team. 2 block wolves, they're safe to hit you. 1 has Mighty Blow, so he's hitting you in your armor 6 essentially, no matter who you are. That's horrible. Block on a flesh golem, who are notoriously hard to level up, and nearly block on another one. 2 guard on the whites. Now, in a Necro team, you don't need to rush Mighty Blow on them as fast, and guard is more helpful because they're only strength 3 and you don't have much high strength, and you want to use them to put them in places where they can help the wolf's frenzy, and the number of places you can put them to do that increases so much once they have guard. So I do agree with that, but I would like maybe to see Mighty Blow come next on one of them. Ball sacking ghoul, ball carrying ghoul, beautiful, and a dirty player, I love it. I don't like the combo of dirty player and kick, because if you dirty player, it means you're going to foul. If you're going to foul, you're getting sent off eventually. That's how it works. That's just the way it be. If your kick player gets sent off in your offensive drive, you lose kick. So that puts you off fouling, which means you're not getting the value out of dirty player. I would have split those skills up. But I can also see that when are you ever going to level zombies? It's really hard. He's probably just leveled by miracles. So to make him the star zombie with multiple skills is also kind of cool. So I can see why you'd do it, but I don't like it. I agree with you, but you're wrong. So come to the barbecue brawlers. Now, coming off a 4-0, they might actually have something going for the team for a bit. So 1 noob still. He's all good but the second. I'm going to hope he's a replacement. 150k in the bank though, which is healthy, and no carried injuries, which is good. The Agi 4 blocker got guard, which we talked about a lot. He really needed guard. Agi 4 was useless until he could combo it with guard. His ability to get into spaces the other Bretts couldn't and give his assists. That's what was going to be so good about his Agi 4. That's finally online. I like that. And 2 guard here. I like that as well. This is a team where I don't think you should prioritise Mighty Blow. Guard is better. Probably mostly just because of the anti-synergy between Wrestle and Mighty Blow. And you had Kick and Dirty Player split up. It's like he listened to what I said 2 seconds ago. I still don't like this Nerves of Steel guy. Maybe it works for you. I don't like it. I can't be convinced on that. I've heard your argument for why you've picked it. I know how Nerves of Steel works and how it can make the occasional play pull off, but I just don't like it. It's not what I would take. I don't think it's a priority skill. Frenzy I like. Frenzy is all balls. Frenzy is great and really unexpected. A lot of people don't ever prepare for Frenzy off of the positionals that don't start with it. If you see Witch Elves, you prepare for Frenzy. You see Werewolves, you prepare for Frenzy. When you see Bretonians, they don't think Frenzy. And then Jacques Daniels comes in, and all of a sudden you're surfed, or you're pushed into like the middle of a cage and beat up. Like, it's really good. I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. Obviously, this is on top of the fact 3 of them are blodgers, which is really good. So it's coming along slower than you would like, but it is getting there. You might start to see more wins as we roll on. And then the Highgate Wardens, man. 5 touchdowns. Burners on fire. I love to see it. So the catcher, he hasn't done the level. I want to see it. This guy was the pseudo blitzer, and that was really clever. The accurate thrower has leveled up. Now, if this is doubles, obviously what he takes is strong arm, and he starts doing long passes on a 2-up, which is just everything you want. This catcher is also going to level. I'd assume block or dodge. Going on previous history, block. He doesn't really prioritize dodge. I would, but hey, I'm not Burner. I'm not playing High Elves. So we've got 2 blodge blitzers, which is good. Guard one, great. He had that last time we looked. Another guard lineman now has block. Makes it really hard to move. 2 guard is kind of unfair on a High Elf team. They're not supposed to have it. And Mighty Blow, so 3 strength skills on a team with no strength access is great development. It's no surprise he's pushed his way up the table with this team. I want to see the level ups. I want to see how it develops. I'm really interested. So that's it. A fairly long recap by my standards. I hope you don't mind. I said I wasn't going to go for an hour, but I almost did. But we did cram 2 weeks in here. I feel there's a good pace. Obviously, I expect most of you skip to the bits about your own teams. Everyone does that. Don't lie about it. Don't feel bad. Everyone does that. You listen to the bit about your own team. That's why I keep moving the timings around so that you don't know what bits to skip to and you watch more. No, I just forget what I'm doing. So thanks for that. We're bang on schedule for week 5. We've just rolled into week 6. How 2 people have got a game done already, I don't know. That is fast. And should real life allow, the next one will come in on next Wednesday and we'll try to stay on time. Apologies again that I missed a week. I hope you guys have fun, because I certainly won't be playing my brains.